Hey YouTube. So I'm gonna call one of my sub series it's called Life Lessons. And this will be the first video in this string of life lessons. Um and I'm going to call this one life lesson number one, growing up. Now before I begin, I know some of you are thinking I'm young and I probably don't know a lot about growing up, but you'd be surprised. Mainly how much I know, because I know for a fact that I'm still growing up and I have a lot to learn. But I'm just gonna share what I know and what I can advice I can give to you. If it's a Captain Obvious type of thing, so be it. If it's new, learn from it. Now, growing up for me was a little bit unexpected. Now, up my freshman and sophomore year, I had essentially no care in the world. I had school, I had friends, and I did my school activities, and I really had nothing to worry about. Just I lived my life, and I never thought of any outside forces ever hitting me as hard as they did the 2 years after, aka my junior and senior year. Now, as soon as junior year started, is when all the responsibilities started coming. I never expected to be, put in a position where I had to advise to people who had way, way worse problems than I had. It made me think of, why would I constantly just bitch about the minor things when there's people who whose problems make mine look like an anthill compared to a mountain, and I'm the anthill. And having to advise and give like an honest opinion to something I had no knowledge about and didn't have a clue about how to advise made me feel like I failed. And failure is a part of life, which I did learn. And people, everybody is going to screw up. But it's how you handle and what you learn from those screw ups that count the most. I never expected to have close friends die, pass away so unexpectedly. One day they're there, and then over a course of a weekend they're gone. And it's sad to think that it took a close friend's death to make me truly realize how much life I actually never really enjoyed, how much of it actually wasted. And it was one of those moments that made me think of how I could be a bigger man to for myself and for my peers, being because they all needed somebody and I needed somebody. But you couldn't be someone who had was immature, and somebody who ultimately could not console what happened, what events. Now, growing up for others, it it can be easy. Well, I can't say easy, but it can be progressed through time. And, you learn little by little by little throughout your life, and then eventually, by a certain age, you're solid. And then there's some who have life punched in their face at at a moment's notice, and learning to juggle it all is something that is a very hard test. It's not one of the hardest you'll face in your life, but it is indeed hard. And it's some handle it with ease, some take it very hard. It it makes you think that you're in this alone, but you're really not. You do have friends who you can go to who can give you something to learn off of. And if you're one of my friends watching this video, if if we still communicate, you know, um, that's great for us. We we still have a great friendship going, and I love to see it continue on in the future. But to those who I've lost contact with, or have even become strangers to me, or to those who wished wished to for me to be no longer part of have me no longer part of their life, will know that I did learn something off you. That at one point in my life, you were one of the main proprietors of advice that I could go to in a time of need. And though we don't communicate, I just want you guys to know that you were at one point that person, and would never trade what we had, what you've given me for the world. And we have our whole lives together, together ahead of us. And that pretty much concludes it. For this series, I don't plan to depress you. Some life lessons are going to be harsh, some are going to be pretty minute and minor, but I'm going to take the time to talk about how my life has been truly affected by it. I'm not saying I'm wise. I'm not saying that I'm this oh so noble and high holy person that deserves praise for pretty much expressing a common life lesson, and I'm not expecting that. But if you did learn something off me, don't be afraid to, say so. Alright, so, well.